back to Studio One. Now, our next guest is the founder of a UK-based software company, COINS, and the president of his charitable initiative, the COINS Foundation.
He's here in the UAE to support the Widad Centre for Disability and Child Development, right here in the city of Dubai. Joining us is Larry Sullivan, ahead of his talk later on this evening. Larry, thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about the foundation. Success goes with hard work in business there. But what then makes a man like you turn around and say, OK, I want to do more than that. I want to set a foundation that gives to others?
Yeah, I think upbringing, parental influence is a significant thing. You know, I had a working class background, so I was fortunate. My father was shop floor worker at Ford's, so I was fortunate. I was the first of my generation to go to university, and I really only managed to get through that on the basis that I used to sell ice cream in Chicago, you know, during my university days. And actually, I regard that as a better part of my education than my education, to be honest. But then, really, you know, I grew up in the early stages of computers, and it's an interesting area. And I had a desire to run my own business. I didn't like having a boss much. I mean, I've started 6 niche market software houses, 4 in the UK, 1 in Poland, 1 in Russia. And I never planned to be wealthy. I just planned to avoid being poor, actually, and look after the people I loved.
To get by.
Yeah, but then you realise, I mean, the world's a bit of an unfair place. I mean, hedge fund managers and software entrepreneurs can end up with too much wealth. And I think with any form of privilege goes the responsibility to try and do something decent. So
that is a mantra of yours, is it?
Yeah, and a lot of the guys in my company, I've got some brilliant people in the company, and the Widad Centre here is very much the efforts of Nigel Cope and his, you know, the local team over here, and they've done a fantastic job. But I know they were inspired by a school I started in Hindhead in Surrey. Yeah. The inspiration for that was my own daughter. I've got a daughter with mild cerebral palsy. Couldn't find the right place for her, so we bought an old church about 8 years ago in the UK, converted it. It's a fantastic place now. I mean, the kids there last Friday put on a performance at Hamlet in Guildford, actually, where you were talking about earlier. Yeah. And brilliant performance of Hamlet by a bunch of you know, partially disabled kids. Amazing. But then things that you do become a sort of series of logical steps. Like we've got the school, and we work very hard on making sure we do the same here. The kids have good self-esteem. I mean, it's important. Self-esteem is more important than good intellect. If you don't feel good about yourself, life can be a bit challenging. So we work very hard on making them feel good about themselves.
I want to know a little bit more about COINS Foundation, because, I mean, whenever there's an emergency, a lot of organizations and individuals, they volunteer to help out. But what sets the COINS Foundation aside is the fact that you look at long-term solutions for to bring about permanent changes. What are some of these long-term solutions that you work towards to eliminate things like poverty or discrimination?
Okay, well, I mean, let's take. I'll answer that in 2 parts. I mean, first part, and a series of logical steps. With the school, it's then difficult for the children to get work experience. So we established our first cookie bar in the UK coffee shop. So, which we run as a social enterprise. So we run for profit. Half the profit goes back to the school, and half goes to my foundation, which builds schools and homes in Africa. But it's also a forgiving environment for the kids to work in. Yeah. And what I will do is I will back that to sustainability. You know, my aim is always to set it free, and so that, you know, nothing works unless the numbers add up. So you have to keep working at that, but you'll work at it until you know, until that happens. But abroad, like in Africa, for example, I've been on the board of Habitat for Humanity for 4 or 5 years now, and I love their strapline. Their strapline is a hand up, not a hand out. So the idea really is, if you're a poor person, you would build your own home, and you would help build your neighbour's home. I went out to Haiti with, you know, President Carter's team to do that. A number of my employees have been out to do that. So you're then a participant in your own salvation, in the sense that you're not dependent. You're helping set yourself free.
So it's an element of entrepreneurialism for those in need as well.
Yeah, it is, and so everything I'm trying to do, the school, the cookie bar, even the you know, the work in Africa, you're trying to set people free. But,
Yeah.
it's evolving all the time, and I'm thinking about it. And my colleagues are thinking about it. As well as Habitat for Humanity, we support an organisation called PEAS, Promoting Equality in Secondary Education in Africa. We funded about 7 schools now in Zambia and Uganda, run by an excellent organisation. But I'm actually about to change the nature of my support. So what we're going to start to do is solar panel up the schools. But I'm going to do that by establishing a joint venture in Uganda, half owned by Ugandans and half owned by the COINS Foundation. So that when that's successful, hopefully, I'll give it its first chunks of business by solar paneling up the schools. Hopefully they can win other commercial contracts, but then we're building up value that we can bring back into the foundation and use as circular money.
No stranger to this part of the world. You've lectured in universities across the UAE, as you have across the world.
Yeah.
Is it a sort of a commitment of yours as well, wherever you set up offices for COINS around the world, that you get involved with social activities, community activities, like the Widad Centre? And just to add on to that, what can the Widad Centre expect from support from COINS Foundation over the years to come?
We'll support it through to sustainability and success. Once we start something, I mean, it's too embarrassing not to make sure that it's successful, so we'll absolutely stick with it. And Nigel led the staff down there. They were painting down there, helping to renovate the place. And I've been talking to the staff this morning. They all clearly care about it, and they've got a day job to do, and that, and that's important. The business must be strong, but they clearly all thoroughly enjoy doing that as well. And it sort of differentiates you as an employer as well. I say to my employees, they can transactionally engage. Which is fine, or they can holistically engage. And I'm fine with either, but it's better if they holistically engage. And
two things I want to know about there very quickly is, A, from a very personal point of view, will I be able to get a cookie from the cookie bar down at Widad? And is there any chance of getting a London double-decker bus converted over for the centre here as well?
Yeah, that'd be a great thing to do if we could do both of those things. Certainly, you'll get some cookies. In fact, I'm sorry I didn't bring some with me, but generally what we do, certainly in my clients in the UK, we give them a box of cookies, and I'll get many clients in the UK who sign up for contract cookies. So I think we've got 30, 40, 50,000 pounds of contract cookies going into the City of London. The bus is, we're converting it to a mobile cookie bar, and that will, where we're looking in terms of doing cookie bars, we'll set it up first of all. It's to do a sort of market survey, and that's really good actually, because the kids we're looking at a school in West London in Chiswick at the moment, 1,500 children. So 1,500 children equals 3,000 parents. So you say to the parents, you drink your coffee and cakes at the school's cookie bar, not Costa and Starbucks. Nothing against Costa and Starbucks. But then the fifth formers do a project and a questionnaire with the parents. They're saying, we're thinking of doing this. If we do it, will you go? When you go, what will you buy? The sixth formers do that with local businesses. So it's teaching them all good business practice, and also it's de-risking the project. So you've got your revenue model pretty much sorted out.
Larry, run out of time on this occasion. I know you've got to get off your speaking in just a matter of seconds as well, so you'll be whisked away to that. Larry speaks in Dubai tonight. But listen, if you want to find out a little more about the COINS Foundation, about COINS and all the work they do globally, and also about the Widad Centre that they support right here in Dubai, then all you have to do is get yourself onto our Facebook page, facebook.com/Studio One Live. Larry, thank you very much.
Thank you
both
so
very
much.
much. Thank you.
After the break, it's tuna surprise.
What's the surprise, Ash?
Tuna.
Good. Look forward to it.